We're live streaming. So this public meeting this evening is being held under the Planning Act and involves a zoning bylaw amendment application related to the property at 1103 County Road 2. This public meeting is a separate item from tonight's regular council meeting. Procedure for public meeting will be as follows. 1, to start, the planner will confirm how notice was given for the zoning amendment application, then outline the proposed amendment and summarize any comments received to date. 2, after hearing from the planner, the meeting will open to anyone who may have registered a request with the clerk to attend this meeting to address council. I would ask that any persons wishing to speak on this matter to please give your full name and street address for the record. And 3, once everyone wanting to speak has been heard, the public meeting will be closed. All questions should be directed through myself as chair. I will now ask the planner to outline the application and advise of any comments received. Melissa?
Thank you. So the method of notification is public meeting being held tonight. A notice was published in the Rockville Recording Times on May 1st. That notification fulfilled council's requirements of giving notice 20 days prior to this meeting date to give the public opportunity to make comment. Prescribed agencies under the Planning Act were also circulated notice as required under the Planning Act and its related regulations. Township departments were also circulated internally. So in addition to this circulation, as per past township notification practices, all property owners within 120 meters or 400 feet of the property were given personal service by mail, and that happened on March 31st. So it should be noted for this hearing tonight that if anyone wishes to file an appeal of the decision of the township with respect to this proposed amendment and does not make oral submissions at this public meeting or does not make written submissions to the township before council adopts the bylaw or is otherwise considered by council, then that person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And also that person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing to the Ontario Land Tribunal unless it's in the opinion of the tribunal that there's a reasonable grounds to do so. Further is noted in the notice, if anyone wishes to receive a copy of the decision of council, you do need to make a written request for that notice to the clerk. So specifically regarding this amendment this evening, this property is a 7.3 acre property, currently includes a dwelling and it's zoned RW, waterfront residential zone. The applicant is seeking to have a small horse hobby farm. It's proposed that it would be limited to a maximum of 6 horses. The livestock barn and manure storage area will need to be in compliance with the minimum distance separation setback from neighboring dwellings. So an exception zone, an RWX2 zone, is proposed to permit hobby farm use, limited to 6 horses. Comments received to date on the application is we've received an email from Fire Chief Bowman advising of no concern with the application, and we've also received an email from South Nation Conservation advising of no concerns. Those are all the comments we've received on the application to date.
Thank you. We'll now open the floor for any comments from the public. Yes, sir.
Robert Park, and my address is 1105 County Road 2 East. And what we're trying to do here is kind of take back the history of the area a little bit. It's not like back in the day when Captain Campbell showed up with us after serving the crown in the War for Independence and was given 400 acres on the waterfront on the St. Lawrence. Just imagine you've got the property, they come up on a boat and say get off, and that's back in 1784. So we can't take back the 400 acres, but we'd like to maintain it as a rural kind of romantic little horse farm. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? And I believe, if I remember correctly, so hobby horse farm, a hobby farm with horses right across the street.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I think the Stewart's place.
Yeah, there's one down the road too.
Okay, any other comments? Deputy Mayor?
I just got one comment. Thank you for doing this, and as president of Everett Federation of Agriculture, we always look for anybody keeping livestock. It's another avenue for farmers to sell hay to, and you guys also supply the agricultural society and the equipment dealers and their pet, and the feed dealers and whatever. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Going once? Twice? Any other comments? 3 times? I call the public meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for coming. Okay, I call our regular meeting to order, and we'll begin with the reconciliation statement. And Councillor Henry, if you would have the pleasure.
Thank you, to your worship. Augusta Township is situated on lands deeply connected to the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Huron-Wendat. We acknowledge the location of the archaeological sites identifying both the Ukrainian and agricultural community and Epicurean village in the township. With gratitude and respect, we are committed to learning about the history of the current aspirations of Indigenous peoples, such as uncovering the truth about residential schools and culture revitalization. We recognize and respect the contributions they have made and continue to make on these lands.
Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, next is Mayor's comments. I have quite a few here, so, because it's been a month since we've had a meeting, so anyway, I'll just go to my quick list here. First of all, pitch-in, we held last Saturday, as a lot of other communities did too. So it was nice seeing people around the community in the ditches, picking up the garbage. And I want to thank Councillor Henry and the other councillors for spending the time and putting that together, so it went very well. Thank you. We were at Good Roads conference last week, all of us. And I want to thank Councillor Henry again for setting up Queen's Park tour on Monday morning. So it was nice. We're gonna send a card to Steve Clark and his staff, thanking him. But we had an hour and question period, and just something not the everyday citizen gets to do. So thank you very much for that. Plus he bought lunch. So. I had the pleasure of seeing Matt Hayes and his wife on McIntosh Road, and they were 70 years married, so I congratulated them. They had all the family there, so that was nice. That was on Good Friday. Also, Councillor Pape and I went to Elmer's Construction, and we congratulated them on 50 years. Their business has been operating, so again, we gave them a little certificate. I believe it was in one of the papers, I think.
Yeah, South Grand Road.
Yeah, so anyway, that was also good. Deputy Mayor and I attended the South Grenville Chamber of Commerce, AGM, and I believe the new president is Kevin Spencer. And again, that was held at the Prescott Golf Course. I went to the Front of Young Business of the Year Awards breakfast a few weeks ago. It was held at the Legion in Marytown, and again, very delightful, good crowd, and it always seems to be a good crowd when businesses and citizens are getting awards, so it was nice there. I want to congratulate Captain Rob Bushfield, placed second in the Firefighters National Curling, so I see that was in the paper, and anyway, congratulations. If you could pass that on to him in person, that'd be great. And also the pancake supper that was held at North Augusta for the firefighters, and I had my fill of pancakes, so it was good. I think the crowds it was a beautiful day, so I think the crowds were down a little bit, but still, it was a good time. I noticed quite a few counselors there too, so thank you. We had the police services board meeting on Friday, and we went over some of the stats. And just to give you some idea, the violent crimes, and this is just in Augusta, doesn't include the 401. Violent crimes was down 71%, property crimes was down 30%, and drug crimes was up 300%. Either we went from 3, we were at 0, so that's why it was so much there. But overall, it's not too bad. Again, we meet every quarterly on that, so. And just a little Mayor's fun facts, let's go around the table. How many businesses do you think we have in Augusta as of March 2023? Councillor Henry?
400. 150.
280? 291.
179. So 179 is March 2023 number of businesses I thought it was quite high. I was guessing about 100, but again, those are registered businesses. I know there's a lot that are not, so I imagine, and we were comparable to Prescott and Edwardsburg Cardinal too. So it's just nice to hear there's that many businesses. So, which also means, how do we get those other businesses out involved? And the next thing I have is we're losing our CAO who's retiring. And I'm gonna call Councillor Bowman forward, please.
Steve, if you'd like to come. Come on, cry. That's what we like, right? Steve, we really hate to see you go, but we understand that, you've got the world to travel and you and your wife are gonna do wondrous things. She got the book open every day for you to go venture new places. But on behalf of council, we'd just like to present this to you and wish you great retirement.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for all you've done.
Now, unfortunately, I cannot make your shindig on Thursday night for the meeting. I don't think the deputy mayor can either. I don't think Councillor Henry can, and Councillor Bowman's working. So, I don't know who arranged it, but anyway, Councillor Pape will be there, shining glory, representing us all.
Thanks very much. Important people.
Okay, and that's all I have for mayor's comments. By the way, next we have our approval agenda, and first of all, I'll ask councillors, is there anything that has to be added to the agenda? Do you have any additions? Okay, we'd like to add 2. One is for a closed meeting, to identify an individual reference to labor relations. So we'd like to add that into our closed meeting. And also add the odor report, which I believe is on your desk there. Okay, by Councillor Henry. So I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Councillor Bowman? Oh, sorry. This is moved by Councillor Bowman. Second by Councillor Henry.
It's been a while.
Be it resolved, it's been a month, yeah. Be it resolved, the agenda for April 24, 2020 be adopted as amended. Can I write on this?
Please do.
I remember getting a copy. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman. Be resolved that council approve the minutes of the March 27, 2023 council meeting as distributed to all members. Is there any changes, additions to the minutes, councillors? Okay, I see none. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Next, we have disclosure of pecuniary interest and and general nature thereof. Does anybody have anything to report? No, good. Any business arising from the minutes? Any delegations, presentations tonight? See none. Correspondence and petitions? We have one from the Maynard Public School donation request. I think everybody's read through that. Moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry, be resolved that council authorize a donation of $300 to the Maynard School for their composting program. Any comments? Yes, Fred.
Yeah, just one comment. Do you know if anybody know if Maynard School has looked into the composters that they had at Roman? They're the digester ones that all that comes out as pellets?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if they did or not. Because the only disadvantage with the normal composter is you do get rodents.
Yeah. I didn't get any details on what they were gonna do, if they're just making one or if they're buying them, I don't know. Do you know? I didn't read it in the letters, so.
Yeah, they're purchasing compost bins and bags, so
Okay.
for each classroom though, so it must be
Not
small.
regular,
Yeah,
but all going into a regular composter.
yeah, I would guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Any other comments? Okay. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman. Be it resolved that council resolve itself in a committee of the whole meeting. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, committee and staff reports. First of all, counties. We had a presentation by John McAllister and Ron Ferguson from the Upper Canada District School Board, and they announced, the counties, that there will be no more school closures. So, no more. However, the ones that were decided in 2017, are still on the plate, which means Maynard is still on the plate. But there will be no more future. They also stated they have money. Go Councilor Henry. They have money for special ed programs and all that. It may not seem that at times the way they put it because children get transferred out and that, but they said they don't need money, and those are the two things they really pointed out to us, so, okay. Next was the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, has a program, 7 in 7 it's called. It's, what it is basically around the housing program. It's 7,000 houses in 7 years, so that is their aim to do that. So that includes all the counties of Eastern Ontario. So 7 in 7 they call it. If you hear that, it's what it means, 7,000 houses in 7 years. And they seemed optimistic about it, so. Also, we had a delegation about back in, well, earlier on, from North Augusta. They asked for a red light. So we're getting a solar powered red light on top of the stop sign. It will be put up probably towards the end of next week. Okay, so just keep an eye out for it. Let me know if it's up. So that's what I was told. I question it by the end of next week. Okay. Okay, next we'll move on to Deputy Mayor, represents the conservation authorities.
Okay. I attended both Rideau Valley and South Nation, and both conservation authorities are both working on there are different categories, and categories 1, 2, and 3, all the programs have to be put in one or the other. The biggest one that affects municipalities is category 3, and that is one that you have to pay for it in order to have it in your municipality, and what they pretty well say is they want every municipality to be on board for it to go forward. And it doesn't involve an increase in our pay, or the amount that we pay for the South Nation or Rio Valley. It's just gonna allocate a certain percentage. So with South Nation, it was gonna be 3% for the clean water program and 8% for the tree planting program. And with Rio Valley, they didn't break it down, but they said that portion was 20%. But Rio Valley gets 91% of the money from Ottawa. South Nation gets 81% of the money from Ottawa, based on population. So the impact for smaller municipalities is very minimal. Like for us, it's maybe $100, if anything, so majority of it's all paid by. So what they are doing this Wednesday is they're having a municipal information day, and Melissa, our planner, it was originally a planner's day, but now it's municipal information. Melissa, our planner, is gonna go with me, and we're going there on Wednesday. So they'll have more information on this category 3 and the other programs that they're gonna be offering.
Good. Any questions, comments? Okay, good. Recreation. Just kind of go around the table. Councillor Henry?
Through your worship, I attended a Main of Rec meeting on April 13th. We have another one coming up at the 1st of May. Everything seems to be going well, and all their concerns are being met, and everybody seems happy. And they had said that there was going to be 3 baseball teams this summer, and that was all the update that I got.
It's nice to hear cheerful news.
Yeah.
Councillor Bowman?
Through your worship, not much of an update from Merck. They're redoing their Facebook page for rentals. They spent a lot of time at the last meeting going over prices and stuff like that, and I think they've all come to a consensus. The pitch-in day, they were all going to do some work around the Merck Hall and up in the area of the Ball Diamond and everything. I'll get an update on that at the next meeting. And June 3rd is the Maitland Yard Sale, and they're also going to do a barbecue that day to coincide with the Maitland Yard Sale.
Good, okay.
Okay.
June 3rd, write that down.
Okay, North Augusta, they talked, well, Kathleen Cole was supposed to come out, but she couldn't make it that night, so she is gonna come to the next one. But they talked about the timing of the Sonic Hall coming down, and I think Steve might have an update for us on that. And also, they were quite concerned about the lease that was sent out, but they don't fall under that because they're a committee of council. So,
Okay. And do they have a volunteer fair? I had a call from Mayor Haley today, and he said, how'd your volunteer fair go? And I couldn't think of anything to say, so the only thing I could think of is a retirement one from 2 weeks ago.
maybe that could be.
Yeah, so that's what I said to him. I think there's, because the last volunteer fair we did was in 2017, and it was over here just cooking hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah.
But, you know, later on this year, we're not looking for a fair, we're looking for a recognition, volunteer recognition. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they had done on this, unfortunately, it was a Sunday that we were going to.
Exactly, yeah.
Good road, yeah.
Okay.
And I got nothing from, Don Miller about this week.
Okay. Library board, sir.
Through your worship, I wasn't at the last meeting. We were at Ogra, but Angela sent me a few pointers. A couple of notes. They're going to do a seniors computer class in the spring, date to be determined, and they're going to have a yard and plant book sale on the 27th of May from 9 to 1, and they would greatly appreciate any donations. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
And the Economic Development Tourism Committee, Councillor Henry.
Through your worship, we had a meeting, and just an update for everyone to remember the Economic Development Business Summit on May 12th from 9 to 2:30 at the Merck Hall.
Okay.
Would you like me to do the pitch-in
Sure. Whatever.
under this? Okay. It was a great day Saturday, it was nice out, we had 60+ volunteers sign up, I don't know exactly how many were there for sure. We figured about over 200 bags collected, the bin was full, and hoping to have another one in September.
Now, we'll keep those names on record, so we have, for the volunteer recognition, yeah. Well, there was probably more than 60.
Probably.
Yeah, a lot of people just said, I'll just go and pick it up, so. No, it was a good day, the weather held out, so you're looking at it, it was good, yeah.
Good job.
All right, I have a motion here, moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry. Be it resolved that council appoint Darlene Jones to the Economic Development and Tourism Advisory Committee for the remainder of the term. Any comments? No? I've met Darlene, several times. I think most of you know her. They run R&D dairies, so. Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, Deputy Mayor of the Planning Back Committee.
Okay, at our last planning meeting, we went over some severances, there was no concerns that anybody had. And we actually had Darlene come out to our planning meeting and thought it was economic development, and her husband was at home, so they had to switch. But we started a little late, but it was all good. So that was all I have to report on that.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to Administration and Finance, and report 2023-037, signing authority. So moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman, be resolved that council confirm Chief Administrative Officer Shannon Garrity as signing authority in all RBC bank financial documents effective May 1st, 2023, and that former Chief Administration Officer Steve McDonald be removed as signing authorities in all RBC financial documents effective April 30, 2023. That's straight, does the treasurer have anything to say? Just straight?
Just straightforward, yeah. You signed the documents
Yeah.
already, so.
So no questions on that, anybody? Yes.
Oh, Mayor, I see a weight lifted off Steve's shoulder already.
All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, next we have report 2023-045, moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry. Be resolved that council approve the issuance of a letter of support for the application from the Prescott Family Health Team under the Your Health, a plan for connected and convenient care to expand the current term team, resulting in the ability to serve more residents of South Grenville. Any comments on this? I think they're looking at, they're getting Edwardsburg Cardinal and Prescott all do letters of support, so. Call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-046, Council Compensation Expense Policy. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman. Be resolved that attached council compensation expense policy be approved, and that council confirm that by acceptance of this report that they have completed a review of their compensation for the 2022-2026 term as required by section 283, bracket 7 of the Municipal Act. Okay. Comments, anyone? Quiet bunch. Did everybody read it? Yes.
Well, just one question on it, so we're going to AMO this year, and the next 3 years. According to that, you only get AMO once in your term.
But, I think there's some flexibility. My opinion this year was, and maybe I didn't go by I should have, but basically any councilor wanted to go to a conference, get it out of your system this year, and then kind of we get on a set thing, so. I forgot how AMO was just county set thing, so.
twice.
Yeah, so I don't know, sort of. Do you think you should go twice? Yes.
I've never been, so we'll see.
No, I didn't really.
So, Your Worship, it was intended to be a starting point, I guess, a draft. The policy currently in place was a little limited in what it talked to, so I tried to put something together that contained much more detail than we had. I tried to reflect on some of the questions that members of council have had for me since I've been here, and tried to kind of fill in the blanks to complete the information that I've been asked about as far as expenses go and such. I guess the point about the AMO conference is that the intent, and I think everybody went to the conferences that were available this year. I think it's important that they get to them at least in their first term, or first year of the term. The AMO conference, it's very, maybe a little bit more higher level than Roma and or Good Roads and or the Eastern Ontario conference, but there's no intention to restrict anybody from attending, and I think at any time if council wants to approve the attendance of any member of council to go to any additional conferences, I think that that's certainly open for interpretation and you know, at the pleasure of council as to who goes where. It's a budgeting thing as well. We try to ensure that we have sufficient budget at the start of the year to ensure that we got all the monies covered for anybody that goes to a conference. So it just gives us a bit of a planning tool.
And again, in the future, if you have something, like, bring it up to us and we'll take a look at it, you know. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-047, corporate procurement credit card policy. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Vaughan, be resolved that the attached corporate procurement / credit card policy be approved. So again, that's pretty well legalized, you might say, when you read through that, so it's quite common with any corporation or any company that I've been, you know, with, so. Is there any comments or questions on it? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay, operations, report 2020,
Sorry,
did I miss one?
just I threw the OGRA report from Tanya.
Oh.
Administration. So that's.
Okay. So, we'll move by Councillor Bowman, second by Councillor Henry, be resolved that council accepts for information attached report on OGRA Conference 2023. Any questions, concerns on that? Comments, sir? No? I want to thank again Councillor Henry for doing it. And all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, operations report 2023-038. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowen, be resolved that council authorize the mayor and the clerk to enter into a contract with G. Tackenberry and Sons Construction Company Limited in the amount of $276,485 plus HST for the 2023 rehabilitation of South Campbell Road and Lemon Point Lane. Any comments, questions on that? Yes, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I was here for the opening of the bids, and there was quite a difference. Tackenberry haven't really sharpened their pencil and come down in price. They were about, I think, with 80,000 cheaper than the next bid.
Good. Any others? Call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Next we have, report 2023-039. Moved by Councillor Bowman, second by Councillor Henry. Be resolved that council authorize the mayor and the clerk to enter a contract with G. Tackenberry Sons Construction Company, limited to the amount of $146,790 plus HST for the 2023 supply of Granular M for maintenance and of unpaved roads. Any comments to that? Deputy Mayor?
Well, this one here was a lot closer, it was only $3,000 difference, that's all.
The others, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Report 2023-043, moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman, be resolved that council authorize the mayor and the clerk to enter into contract with Dali Dust Control for an upset limit of 92,300 plus HSD for the 2023 supply of 260,000 liters of liquid dust suppressant with the option to negotiate for 2 additional 1-year periods. Any comments, Deputy Mayor?
This one was all over the books, this one that they accepted, the next one was 400,000.
Wow.
Next closest bid.
W is at Good Roads, were they not? I believe.
Yes.
Something that wanted, I think I saw it.
All in favor? Carried. Next, planning and building services. Moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry, be resolved that council receive the building department activity report for March 2023 for information. Any comments, any questions? Okay, hear none, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-040, severance B-15-23, Onstein, Weir, and Dixon. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman, be resolved that Augusta Council recommend to the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville consent granting authority that consent application B-15-23 be approved subject to 6 conditions of approval as detailed in staff report 2023-040. Any comments, questions? Melissa, got anything? No? No? Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-041, severance B-19-23, Tui, Carnegie, and Freak. Moved by Councillor Pape, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved, the Augusta Council recommend to the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville consent granting authority that consent application B-19-23 be approved, subject to 7 conditions of approval as detailed in staff report 2023-041. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-042, deeming bylaw report, Mainland Tower. Moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Payne, be it resolved that council receive the planner's report 2023-042 for information. Any comments, questions on that? Nobody, Melissa? No? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Report 2023-044, the OP review, moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Pate, be it resolved that council received report 2023-044 for information. Any comments, questions? Is this the one, this is a question, Melissa, I guess, where we said, basically to postpone the, official plan, start of it, or?
Yes, through
If I
your
read
worship.
correctly, yeah.
Yeah, the, council did approve the review of the official plan as a capital project for this year. So it was intended that it was gonna hopefully start on that shortly, and, we had started to do some work on the RFP. But then, the province did release, the changes, some draft changes to the PPS, which the commenting period's, going on until the early June. So they're gonna have significant changes. Our official plan policies are all come out of those provincial directives. So It might be best if we can delay the review a little bit, just hopefully maybe later till late summer or early fall. I believe the province expects the new policy to come out in early fall. So hopefully then we can pick up where we were and work towards getting the documents, start the process, so.
Comments, anyone? I got one, this is kind of a thorn in my side, and it's no fault of our planning, excellent planning staff now, but this is what's been neglected the last 2 terms of I feel, of council, and that official plan was never touched, you know, so, as I've told you all, you know, it's one of my priorities to start pushing that. Now, the province did come out with a book like that on changes. However, I'm afraid of losing us in the queue. So what I would like to do is not postpone, but start it. And I'll tell you why, at least get the RFP, get the company done. There's things they can do, for example, like waterways and other things they can do on the whole scheme of things until this is passed in the fall. I'm just afraid of it being delayed. And this whole process is gonna take 2 or 3 years. So one of my goals is to get it done this term. So that's why I'm very hesitant on postponing. So yes, definitely.
Well, the only reason when we talked about it at our planning meeting is postponing it is if we go ahead, we'll end up doing it twice, it'll cost us a lot more money. Because whatever changes the province makes, then we have to rewrite our official plan. And I think, well, you can probably answer how far the counties are along, they're supposed to have theirs done by 26, and they're way behind too.
Yeah.
And probably some of this stuff's gonna impact them as much as us.
But we're over 10 years behind. We are the only township in the counties that's not up to date. So, I understand what you're saying, but looking at the official plan, there is stuff they can do that will not be affected by the planning act. And maybe I know it's gonna be a pain, juggling all that, but I'd just like to see it go ahead myself, because, once this gets settled in the fall, then everybody's gonna be looking for a firm to change and, you know, at least if we get in there, get our RFP done, and then we're at least on the list, is what I'm saying. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but, and can you do an RFP and word it so that you abide by the new planning act, is what I'm saying. I realize what I'm saying, I just wanna get it done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Your worship, yes, certainly, I mean, staff, work had started, I'd started drafting an RFP, and then this came out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, certainly, you know, we could proceed with something and make it very clear that we are aware that these changes are coming, and that it's expected that the official plan will be in compliance with those changes when it happens. So, I mean, obviously, everyone's gonna be on consultants' doors, knocking, when this happens, because everybody's official plan will need to be changed.
That's what I'm
Including,
afraid.
including the counties. I did have a discussion, with the counties as well, just about it. Cause technically, they're the approval authority for our official plan, and I was trying to have a discussion about, you know, what comes first, you know, cause I do know that council is very anxious to proceed with that. Cause technically, not only does our official plan have to be compliance with whatever the policy is at the time of the province, but it also has to be compliance with the county official plan, which they're gonna have to change as well. So it's definitely gonna trigger the need for them to, also amend their official plan. So it just depends on the extent of the changes that are happening, whether it's gonna be pieces that they'll need to change or whether it's a whole document. But certainly if that's what council's direction is, you know, we can draft an RFP, make it very clear, you know, that it would be subject to, you know, the changes that are coming out. And then maybe it can be a slow progress as we're waiting for those changes to come out from the province. So definitely if that's council's desire, staff can work on the RFP and try to get that moving.
I think that would be wise in my own opinion, and just so that we're not left out in the cold. Cause I got a feeling, yeah, once this is passed, yeah, so I don't know how everybody else thinks, you know, it's not a money situation because we've already passed the money and everything else, so it's just, the planner's time, but I don't see it, I don't know. You gotta spend time on it now or later, but your thoughts on that, or?
Your worship, no, I'm happy to do that and start the process for sure. And then, I mean, it's really not that far off. I mean, we're already in May. So, you know, in another 4 months, you know, we should have an indication when the province is going to, and they've kind of alluded to what the changes are gonna be. So,
Yeah.
you know, the consultants can keep that in mind, what's kind of expected. Whether all of it comes to fruition or not, will yet to be seen. But that's definitely something that I can work towards, starting to prepare, so.
Well, excuse me, the motion here is for information anyway, but I just, if the council's in agreement, I think we tell our planning department to continue, so that we're in the queue and not left as orphans when the time comes. And we can do what we can do until then. I don't know, it seems logical to me. Comments? Yeah.
Well, I know we can be more restrictive than the province, not less, same as the counties. So it doesn't do us any good to be less restrictive and then have to change something. So I think if Melissa, like if she's working with the counties and if they say that, yes, we can go ahead and do certain things, I think that would be a good thing to do. But if there's certain things that maybe we should wait on, especially if they're waiting, then that would be a smart.
Well, I had the opportunity to look at someone else, other townships, maybe you should look at it, official plan. And a lot of it had to do with like waterways, things that are not gonna change, you know? This act isn't gonna change the, Bradley's Creek at all, you know, like, so.
Yeah.
A lot of that can be done ahead of time because a lot of it's, well, it's just a lot of work. So, anyway, that's my thought.
No, the stuff that can be done, we should.
No, I agree.
All right, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. And I'll just say, to our planning department, if you have a problem, come back to us.
I will.
Okay. But no, don't remain silent, say this is nuts. Come back to us and give us a reason. Okay, protective services. Nothing. Fire chief, do you have anything you want to say?
Not until announcements, just an update on it through your worship, sorry, just about banking supper, but other than that.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councillor Pate, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be a result that council moved to a regular meeting. All in favor? Carried, thank you. New and unfinished business. Is there anything from anybody? No? Notice of motions? Anyone? No? Okay, bylaws. So, moved by Councillor Pate, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans, be resolved that bylaw number 3631-2023 being a bylaw to appoint a chief administrative officer for the corporation of the township of Augusta be read a first time, a second time, a third time, and be enacted as read. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, second by Councillor Pate, be resolved that bylaw number 3632-2023, being a bylaw to deem lots 19, 20, 21, 22, and unnumbered blocks south of King Street and west of lot 19, regular plan 9, brackets Maitland, concession 1, part lot 30, part 3 and 4, reference plan 50R-10364, not to be part of a registered plan 9, be read a first time, a second time, a third time, and enacted as read. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, announcements, I have one announcement, I have more than one announcement. First of all, half loads are lifted today within the township, so I believe that's gone through the counties too. And I have the announcement from the South Grenville Community Conversation. So they're having a meeting in Johnstown, April 26th, which is Wednesday, 2 to 4. And it's Jane Hess, if you remember Jane Hess from United Way, was a delegation, I think her last meeting or second last meeting. Anyway, she's asked the South Grenville, Prescott, and Edwardsburg Cardinal, all the mayors, if we can kind of tell their residents and councilors to have a meeting on this Wednesday. She sent me an email saying they only have 2 people registered so far. So I cannot go, I'm busy. And I'm sure the rest of you probably have work or.
What's the date, Jeff?
Wednesday, April 26th, 2 to 4. And it's at Johnstown.
Oh, that's this Wednesday.
Yes, this Wednesday. So,
Yeah, busy.
yeah. Anyway,
I plan on attending as long as we get back from South Nation.
anyway, she just sent me an email just before I came tonight, so. I know the other mayors couldn't make it either.
I think I'm registered for it.
Okay, announcements. We're on the table first with the councilors and deputy mayor. Any announcements? No. Fire chief?
Yeah, it was through your worship. We had, as you noted in your initial comments, we did a very successful pancake supper with our 303 orders. A little bit down from last year, but I think with the extremely nice weather, some people decided to stay home and barbecue. But it was a very successful event. Secondly, over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, almost all municipalities in Legion Grenville had burn bans on. And over the weekend, all burn bans have been lifted. Ours, along with Lisbon and Kidley's and Edwardsburg Cardinals, were lifted this morning.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes,
Your worship, if I may, just take a couple of minutes to make a couple of quick comments. Being my last meeting. It was 41 years ago last week that I first started in municipal government. And you were talking about some fun facts earlier. I've got some fun facts. I did some quick calculations. I figured that I attended just under or just over 1,000 council meetings throughout my career. I've survived 13 elections, worked for 8 different municipalities, and have been fortunate to finish my career with a very progressive council. So I can't thank you enough for the support that you've given me. I never planned to stay for 18 months. It was gonna be 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. But it's been great, it's been fun. The team here is fabulous, both the ones that I inherited and the ones that I'm responsible for bringing on board. It's been great, and I know that when I retired a couple of years ago, I said that every CAO has a best before date, and I had hit my date. But what I found out in the last 18 months is that just because it says you're best before doesn't mean you're no good after. So thanks very much, it's been great.
I'll say, he's your boss, better stay. Anyway, thank you very much, Steve, and how many mayors did you go through?
Too many.
And your longest meeting?
Oh, well, we used to have to suspend the procedure so we could extend, sometimes, I think we went one till 1:30 one morning.
So was there no common sense in that?
Not, there is now. This was a while ago.
Oh, yeah, man. Anyway, thank you very much. I know it was only temporary. I know I ribbed you a lot, trying to get you to stay longer and longer. You're well respected in the area, not only community, but area. We're very lucky to have you. I learn things from you, and that's what I enjoy about my job, is learning something every day. So, and I try to pass on things to other people every day, so, no, I think you've helped me a lot, and there's a sounding board and other things, so, again, thank you very much. We will have a beer together sometime. But I wish you and the wife the best on your travels and that. I've been where you've been. I retired when I was 60 and said, am I doing the right thing? And it turned out I did. Do I miss it at times? Yes and no. Because I remember the last 6 months, the person taking over for me was dealing with human resource issues and everything else, and I'm saying, I'm glad I don't have to do that. But it's still a learning experience, bad and good, so. But, thank you very much. That's from Jeff Shaver. I'll let the counselors say anything.
Well, I haven't worked with you a lot, Steve, but I've got to know you a bit, and I really respect you. Thanks for everything you did for Augusta before I came and since I've been on.
Thank you.
I mean, from the true rookie, I guess, on the council here, your door's always been open, you've been, emails, quick to respond, quick to answer any questions, and, I wish we had more time. I'm sure I would learn a ton, but, I also know the allure of the world is calling, so I wish you all the best on your travels, and, have fun.
Great, thank you.
Ladies?
You first. Thanks, Steve, for being here for us and always your door being open, listening to our crazy ideas and ridiculous questions, I'm sure. And I hope you enjoy your retirement and good luck.
Again, as I said earlier, good luck in all your travels, enjoy it. You have your health, so take the opportunity to do what you can and travel and see what you can see.
Great.
And create great memories.
Thank you, thank you.
I've learned a lot from you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. No other announcements? Carry on. Questions on the agenda items for the press? Unfortunately, there's a lack of press in this area. So, it's not our fault. Anyway, unless they're listening, I don't know if anybody's on. No? No. Questions on the agenda items for the public? Laurie, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Next we'll move into our closed session. Moved by Councillor Pape, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyans. Be it resolved that closed session is adjourned at, no, not adjourned. No.
There isn't,
No.
okay.
We move into, you want me to just say it, or
I'll make up a resolution, yeah, so we'll just.
take a break?
Yep.
No?
Well, just say that we're going into the closed session for the reasons that.
Be resolved that we're going into closed session for, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality, proposed acquisition of land by the municipality and an identified individual